Hello. Today on Election Brief, the Electoral Commission has announced it will, from tomorrow, Friday, July 10, deploy registration officials to senior high schools to register final year students as part of the ongoing voters' ID registration exercise.
Other political parties also think the same, that the approach is very wrong, they are not following the law, and it doesn't make sense.
They, I know, will obviously kick against students registering.
Also, John Mahama defends his choice of running mate, Professor Nana Jean Opoku Agyemang.
The only two offices that women have never had the opportunity to serve in this country of ours is the presidency and the vice presidency.
So we'll speak to the Member of Parliament for Afajato South as we prepare for the Joy ballot box in the Hohoe municipality tomorrow. I'm Arba Kumson. We are live on your DSTV channel 421 and GoTV channel 144. We're also live on your digital terrestrial television because we are free to air, and we're live on myjoyonline.com. Stay tuned in. Thanks for your company. We begin with the Electoral Commission, which has, at an emergency inter-party advisory committee meeting on Thursday, announced its decision to deploy registration officials to senior high schools to register final year students as part of the ongoing voters' ID registration exercise. The exercise will begin from tomorrow, Friday, July 10, to Saturday, July 11, 2020. Members of the various political parties, including the governing MPP and the opposition NDC, as well as observer groups, were in attendance. Kwesi Jonah, who is with the Institute for Democratic Governance, IDEG, has been giving JoyNews details of the meeting.
Some parties have already come out. IDEG says it observed but is unable to share its opinion on this particular matter.
It's not a secret about registration of the schools, or the secondary schools, so they are coming. They just, you know, it's a very simple message. The final year students in SHS are on campus. The question is, because of the COVID-19, even parents are not allowed. How do you register them? So the EC has made a very special arrangement to go to those campuses that have no registration centers to register them. That's the main thing.
And that has been agreed by all political parties?
Apart from NDC, which raised certain problems. According to the NDC, the constitutional instrument governing registration says that a registration center must be gazetted. Those schools that they are moving to, they have not been gazetted. It will not be it will be a legal breach of the regulations. But the majority of the participants disagreed. Yes.
And as an observer, you also agree with the Electoral Commission?
I would like to go there.
You want to share your position?
Well, the EC's decision has divided opinions among the parties. The NDC's Peter Otukuno says the decision, if carried through, will be a breach of the regulation governing the ongoing registration exercise.
The NDC Otukuno is here. Tell us what you make of this particular meeting. I'm told you raised some initial concerns about exactly what the EC is trying to do with the registration of SHS final year students.
Well, it is still a mystery what the EC wants to achieve in this country and what they want to achieve with this election. It is very bizarre. You have the case whereby you invite us to tell us that of all the gazetted registration centers where we will do the registration, where the registration is underway, you are going to send the machines to every single secondary school so that you can register the students as well in the schools. Now, the law says that every station that you send a machine to register must be a gazetted registration, and it should be a polling station. The law does not stop the Electoral Commission from creating additional centers, but you must follow the law and gazette those centers before you send the machine there. They are telling us that from tomorrow they are sending some of the machines to every secondary school to go and register them when they are not gazetted centers, when by law they don't qualify to register anybody there. So by extension, what you are saying is that they can even move the machine to somebody's room in the night beyond the gazetted time that ends at 6 p.m. and register people, and that is wrong. That is completely wrong.
What is the NDC's position, you just said your position is completely wrong. What are you going to do about this development?
Well, we have raised the issues there. We raised it very strongly. The meeting was very inconclusive, and it was not only the National Democratic Congress. Other political parties also think the same, that the approach is very wrong. They are not following the law, and it doesn't make sense.
But General Secretary of the MPP, John Boadu, supports the EC's decision. He tells JoyNews he is confident the Commission will find ways around the problem.
These are final year students, which numbers over 1.2 million. We, as a government, have decided that in order to protect these students, even parents should not visit them. We are not allowing other people from outside to visit them. If we are not able to provide them with the opportunity to be able to register, what it means is that they may either have to go outside, which will increase the risk of getting infected with the pandemic. So I think that it is an arrangement that is looking at the dynamics on the ground. They've already said, my little challenge that I was going to have is whether or not they were going to designate a new center altogether, because that will fly in the face of the law. That will not be legal. But what they have agreed, just as they have mobile registration kits, that at any given point in time, if people are cramming up at a polling station, they move in to augment and help the polling station in registering people, that they use the registration numbers of the centers they go. In this case, they are also going to use registration numbers of polling stations that are nearby the school, in order not to create a new center altogether that will be against the CI
so that these stations will not be gazetted. They will, for the lack of better word, benefit from existing polling stations.
They will benefit from existing polling stations, because if they are to gazette it now, it has to take about 21 days, which may end up, by the time 21 days elapses, the registration exercise is over. So
before you go, General, are you unhappy that this meeting wasn't conclusive?
Who says it wasn't conclusive? It was conclusive. We discussed it. Each political party made its views. We ended the meeting. It wasn't conclusive. What was it? Are we coming back to discuss again? The whole thing is starting tomorrow and tomorrow next. So it wasn't conclusive. Are we coming back again? We discuss it. And in a meeting like that, you can have a position that's different from the position of others. I disagreed a bit with the Electoral Commission. I disagree with the NDC as well. So what do you mean by it's all conclusive? We concluded.
That's the sense I'm getting from your opponent.
Which opponent? They, I know, who obviously kick against students registering.
Why do you say so?
Why? Because in this country, I used to be national youth organizer of the New Patriotic Party. In all campuses throughout the country, including Ho Polytechnic, we won the elections there. So if you are having a situation that you want to register at secondary schools, where you not even talk about beneficiaries of SHS,
to be an adult graduate.
You understand, which the NDC know that is their Waterloo. Even before then, it is. So kicking against is something that if they had not done that, I would be surprised.
Now let's turn our attention on the NDC, because former President John Dramani Mahama has been speaking for the first time about his choice of running mate, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman. On Monday, the former education minister was announced as the running mate for the NDC presidential candidate. He says the decision to settle on a woman to partner him demonstrates the NDC's commitment to ensuring more women are part of the governance system. While speaking at the inauguration of the party's national campaign team yesterday in Accra, Mr. Mahama touted the achievements of his running mate.
Ladies and gentlemen, I believe we couldn't have made a better choice. Nana Jane is an accomplished woman who has made her mark both nationally and internationally. And it is my belief that as a social democratic party, and a progressive party at that, if any party must be positioned in the history of our country to create the opportunity for women to serve in the highest offices of the land, there is no other party than the National Democratic Congress. We have in the course of the life of our party and in periods when we've been in government, given opportunity to women to serve in some of the highest offices of the land. We've had Chief Justices who are women. We've had Speakers of Parliament who are women. We have Attorney Generals who are women. We have Foreign Ministers who are women. We have Accountant Generals who have been women. We've had Prison Directors who have been women. Indeed.
Now, I can't hold back my excitement because tomorrow, the first edition of the Joy Ballot Box goes on air, and already the enthusiasm around it in the Volta region is huge. The show offers voters the opportunity to share what will inform their voting choices. So the ballot box team has pitched camp in the town of Hohoe. For the past 24 hours, the ballot boxes have been placed at the forecourt of the Hohoe Central Police Station, the Hohoe and the Pando municipal assemblies. Deputy head of our political desk, Winston Amwa, joins us live from Hohoe. Hello, Winston.
Hello, Araba.
How is Hohoe, and tell us about the preparations?
Well, so Hohoe is fine, and the preparation is ongoing. As you can see, I'm currently in front of the the Hohoe market, where very soon we'll be engaging with the market women, and we'll be finding out from them some of the issues that will be influencing the choices that they make in this year's general election. You know that the ballot box actually presents a platform for our leaders, that's duty bearers, to actually engage with the electorates and actually have the concerns of the electorate addressed by the duty bearers. And so that's what we're going to be doing, and very soon we'll be speaking to the market women in Hohoe. They'll be telling us issues that will be influencing their decision in the 2020 general elections, Araba.
And what should the viewers look out for? Tell us what we're supposed to be looking out for tomorrow's program.
Well, so this year's focus is on the vulnerable groups, and so we are looking at engaging with women, we are looking at engaging with the youth, and also engage with persons with disability as well as market women, and find out issues that are of concern to them. And already we have been engaging with these groups, and I should tell you that, look, if you listen to the concerns that they have, you certainly would want to know the responses that the duty bearers are going to give. And the fact that this is the first of its kind, the whole of Hohoe is actually in anticipation. They are waiting for us. And we have two other constituencies, two other districts joining us. That's the Afajato South District and the Pando District. All of them will be joining us. We have their parliamentary candidates and members of parliament showing up tomorrow at the old Hohoe Municipal Assembly, where we are going to be having the program. And so it's a must listen, it's a must watch, and if you've been invited, it is a must attend event.
All right, Winston Amwa is deputy head of our political desk there, and as you heard him, it is a must watch, and if you've been invited, it's a must attend. It's the Joy Ballot Box. We'll come to him for more on the polls. That's at 3 p.m., so do stay tuned in. Now, social distancing continues to remain a challenge in the Ododo constituency, specifically in the I Am Church Registration Center. JoyNews observed that majority of the applicants were wearing masks, but were not respecting the social distancing directives. Maxwell Akbaba has been speaking to the registration officers at some centers there and now reports.
What we are facing here right now is the social distance, but as you can see, everybody is in the nose mask. Apart from that one, we have no problem. Hand washing is going on. The sanitizing too is also going on very smoothly.
Thank you very much for speaking to us.
You're welcome.
Okay. So you just had a registration officer at this particular center, which is the place where the aged, lactating mothers and then vulnerable persons could actually come and then to do their registration. It's really quick. You can see how the crowd is actually gathered. You can see how they are not spaced out, but a lot of them are wearing their masks, with just a few of them not wearing theirs. I see about 4 people not wearing their mask, sitting very close. Yeah. Let's speak to the registration officer here. Let's find out how the process is going.
It's going successfully. Well, I think the number is increasing every day, but our number is increased. But we are also trying, and we are also registering. The total number of registration is going up. Okay.
I'm quite impressed that majority of the people here are wearing their masks. But don't you think they are sitting too close?
Yeah. We tell them to observe the social distancing, but it's like when they scatter, then some people they will come. At the end of the day, they will not be able to capture them, to register them. They will ask them to go, and when the day break, they have to come. But when you come and ask them to be on the queue, most of them is like they are not following the instruction. So we try to let the security monitor them. So now I can see the number is reducing small. We'll give them the queue numbers to come. If you come and you are not able to register, then we'll give you the queue number. Then when the day break, you come on time. We'll tell you to come on time. When you come on time, then we'll ask them, the security man will ask them to be on the queue so that they will observe the social distancing. I think that is what we are doing here.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. What's your name?
I'm Honorable Peter Kwe, the Assembly member for this electoral area.
Oh, fantastic. Let me once again say that I'm impressed by how they are wearing their masks, majority of them I should say, but social distancing is not working here.
It's very true. Every morning I normally come around to arrange the queue very well. But the reason why the social distancing is not taking place here is that, you see, the previous registration that we've had so far in the whole constituency and then the electoral area as well, normally the registration takes place around all the polling centers. But this one is based on cluster basis, like 6 electoral areas at the same time. But if we have this machine on all the various electoral areas, like we will not get these people all here.
Now let's head to the Upper West region, where the newly elected regional chairman of the Progressive People's Party, Matthew Duma, has blamed the woes of the people in the region on what he refers to as mismanagement of the country's economy by the Akufo-Addo administration. Speaking after he was acclaimed by delegates as the Upper West Party chairperson, Mr. Duma said the Akufo-Addo administration was not manning most of the country's institutions well. JoyNews' Upper West correspondent, Rafiq Salam, has more.
According to the Upper West Regional Director of the Electoral Commission, Ali Usman Adamu, aspirants who want to vie for positions of the Progressive People's Party, PPP, were done online due to the advent of the COVID-19 pandemic. At the close of nominations, 12 persons filed for the 12 vacant positions, meaning none of the 12 positions will be contested for. A short ceremony was therefore held for them to be popularly acclaimed. 55-year-old tutor of War School for the Deaf, Matthew Duma, became the new Upper West Regional Chairman of the party, taking over from James Songmanenye, who was unqualified for re-election per the party's constitution after he completed his 4-year term. Matthew Duma blames the woes of the people on the mismanagement of the country's economy by the Akufo-Addo administration.
We have seen the challenges that people are going through. We are seeing the corruption that is going on in political parties. We have seen the pressure that political parties are giving to the citizens of this country, a country that we owe. It is for us. But many a times, you are afraid to say certain things or to do certain things because you don't know what will happen to you if you dare. And now, people are crying. They are crying, they don't get food to eat, they don't get job.
He singled out the education sector as one of the institutions that is not manned well, using the free HSS policy to buttress his point.
They have brought a reform that the concept is not well understood by the implementers, that is the teachers. And teachers are struggling in the classroom, even to get the subject matter, the content, and pass it to the child. If you don't have a smartphone that you can Google and get the material, so what is the future of our children? The textbooks are not there in the classrooms. But let me tell you, it is PPP who nurtured the concept.
The upper chairman of the PPP urged Ghanaians to vote for the party in the 2020 polls to turn the economic fortunes of the people to better in their lives. Other executives who were popularly acclaimed are Osman Said for the position of vice chairman, Felix Pegro for regional secretary, Mohamed Zaid Yakubu, assistant secretary, Hudu Musa, regional organizer, and Mariama Bakuri as women's organizer. Reporting for JoyNews, Rafik Salam. Wa.
To the Ashanti region now, where the Regional Police Command has warned it will deal ruthlessly with political party agents and others whose misconduct disrupts the ongoing voter registration exercise. Regional Deputy Commander DCOP David Ajem observes the exercise is already characterized by tension created by the two main political parties, the NPP and the NDC. Ohim Interior reports.
The warning comes as police arrest a group of NDC supporters at Santase last Thursday. Police say the group had attempted to seize registration equipment of the Electoral Commission when a police patrol team swiftly arrived to arrest them. DCOP Ajman Ajem says the command is enforcing to the latter a RESEC directive prohibiting people from massing up at the registration centers to cause chaos.
The Regional Security Council has come up with a number of measures, including people not riding close to a polling station, people not massing up at the polling stations and things like that. We are enforcing them. We have a number of patrol teams who are patrolling the city. And so when we come to the polling stations and people misconduct themselves, we ensure that the law takes its course. I think there was another incident in one of the communities where some persons were party people. The two parties had differences, and one party decided to hijack the process by attempting to seize the EC equipment. They were swiftly arrested and they are still in custody.
The deputy commander says police are keeping an eye on hotspots like Aswasi, where some NDC agents were arrested for alleged illegal possession of registration forms.
We know the hotspots in Kumasi. We know that Asokori Mampo and the sitting MP and the MC have had their own back and forth on radio. But we are not concerned with that. As I've said, this is a national exercise and we want it to remain a national exercise. If anybody has a problem, the problem has to be addressed to the Electoral Commission. So nobody, as I'm told by the EC, must not be prevented from registering. But if there are political party people there who have problems with that person, they must fill a form. But nobody will be allowed to mar the exercise. We will not allow that to happen in this region. We will not allow that. We will deal with that person and make sure that the law takes its course.
Meanwhile, the command warns people who flout mask wearing and other COVID-19 safety protocols risk arrest and prosecution. DCOP Ajman Ajem says more personnel will be deployed at the registration centers on the streets to enforce the regulations. The warning comes as police arrest two people for failing to wear face masks and adhere to other safety protocols. The ongoing voter registration exercise has been characterized by continued flouting with impunity COVID-19 preventive measures. An executive instrument signed by President Akufo-Addo on June 15, 2020, makes wearing of face masks or shields in public mandatory. Offenders risk up to 10 years imprisonment or a fine of between 12,000 and 60,000 Ghana cedis. It authorizes police to make random checks to ensure enforcement compliance. DCOP Ajiman Ajem says there's still work to be done at the registration centers despite police enforcement operations.
It becomes criminal if we come and find somebody not wearing their face mask. Very soon, you see a lot more persons being arrested. So people must ensure that when they go to the police stations, they shall wear a face mask. Otherwise, they will force us to arrest and prosecute them.
From Kumasi, for Joy News, Ohime Interior reporting.
And that'll be all for Election Brief for today. For more election-related stories, log on to myjoyonline.com. I'm Arba Kumsin.